Are you ready for a listening adventure? The name of this adventure is Stand in the Gap. Well, Squire, we're almost home. Just over that next hill, you should see the city.
Yes, my lord the king. We are nearly there.
Let's ride a little faster, though. It's beginning to get dark.
Look, my lord. What is that red glow in the sky?
I don't know, but it seems to be in the direction of the city. Quickly, let's see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It is the city. It's on fire.
And look, my lord, those dark figures approaching the city.
Yes, they appear to be getting ready to attack the city and try to get in through the break in the wall. Quickly, we've no time to lose. The king had been away fighting the Crusades, and now he has come back, only to find that his own city is burning and under attack. It's night, and the sky is very black and dark. The fire is raging within the city and has caused the wall to crumble. The fire is so hot and destructive that even the stones in the wall are melting, and the enemy outside the city are rejoicing. Now we can enter the city! Get ready, man. Get ready, men. Get ready. They are too busy fighting the fires inside to notice us. Prepare to attack! Prepare to attack! We'll charge through the breach in the wall and take the city. The city will soon be mine. But just as the enemy begin their attack, suddenly there arises in the gap a great knight in shining silver armor. Boldly he faces the enemy with his mighty broad-bladed two-edged sword. That great knight is so big, it's just like he fills up the whole breach in the wall himself. He's waving his shield for the people to come and help him as he fights the enemy off. His sword. There's fire everywhere. We can't put it out. We can't put it out. The flames are like wiggling serpents that bite his head. Stop them. Get the blankets. Get the blankets, quick. Try to smother him. Put the fires out, quickly. Come on. Come on. Here's where the danger is. This gap in the wall is greater danger than all those fires. Come on.
Look, there's a knight over there in that gap in the wall. He's beckoning for us to help him. There must be trouble there. Let's go.
We must repair the wall and show the enemy that we are prepared to fight them and not let them in. I'll hold them off with my sword while you men repair the breach.
Here, help me with a stone. Let's get this gap repaired quickly. More stones. We'll all have to work together or the enemy will break through.
Noise.
What noise?
Listen. Listen.
It's a cool wind. A great and mighty wind from God.
The wind has blown out all the fires in the city. A cool wind from God has put out all the fires.
The minute that the people stopped trying to put out the fires themselves and obeyed the call of the night and turned to repair the breach and fight the enemy, God put out the fire. The raging fire went out just like that. Hey! Praise God! The city is saved! Perhaps that knight in shining armor had stopped our forces from getting into the city. Everyone was fighting with
walls were crumbling, but that night has united the people again. They're repairing the walls. Keep shooting those fiery darts into the city, while we look for another weak place in the walls.
What I don't understand is where that great night came from, and that strange cool wind that blew out the fire. What say ye, Dark Counselor?
Where the night came from, I cannot tell. But this I know and know too well. Even flesh and blood can see. God has blessed their unity. Praise God. The city is saved, and all the people are rejoicing and are merry.
All joy and in a circle of love, round and round we go. All kneel down, make a joy look above. We are the temple of God. Living souls, we're living souls, crystal stones and rubies. We're not looking right to serve our King. We are the temple of God.
The city was saved. All those of pure hearts and loyal to the King. Once again, the city is light, shining light, not the burning, destroying fire. And all is rejoicing. It's like heavenly light. Nevertheless, the city is partly burned, and much of it is smoking and smoldering ruins, and partly destroyed. But it is saved. Yet the forces within the city are smaller now, because some people from the city thought that the fire was going to destroy everything. So they fled through the breach in the wall while it was burning. And now, from the darkness outside the city walls, these deserters can see that the city is saved. And they're ashamed.
Let's go back. Let's go back and beg for forgiveness. It's so dark out here away from the city.
How can we? They say we're cowards. They'll never trust us again.
I guess you're right. And we don't know if they really are going to win.
Let's wait and see if the city's going to survive before going back.
But it's dangerous out here, too. These woods are full of enemy forces. Maybe we had better just go a little closer to the city. They've repaired the wall, and they'll have to let us enter in through the gate. Come on, let's go. Come on.
Oh, look. It's too late. We can't get in now. They're putting up the drawbridge and closing the gates.
No. It's too late. It's too late.
The gates are closed. The walls are made strong again, and the drawbridge is retracted. Doesn't look like there's going to be any way for them to get in, even if they want to. It's as though the city has been shut out, and they can't return because they've waited too long. But overhead, a storm is brewing. Black clouds are gathering, and there is the mighty lightning of an approaching storm. Danger from within, which caused them to be threatened by the enemy without. But last is a flood of fire and water, and thunder and storm from above, from God, their purification. Quickly, get all of the people inside! There's a terrible storm!
All the filth of the city is being washed away down the gutters and through the drains. The rain is washing the city clean again. All that soot and black dirt is being washed out of the city.
Look, Mommy, the sun's coming out. It's getting closer and closer. And there's a beautiful rainbow in the sky.
light everywhere. We're like the light. We're like the light, and we live in it. We're all part of the light.
Ye shall rule and reign with me 1,000 years. The kingdom and dominion shall be an everlasting dominion. And so you see, children, the city is like God's work and God's people. And our spiritual enemy, the devil, is always looking for a weakness, a way to enter our defenses, and is casting fiery darts into the city of our own fellowship, trying to sow dissension, jealousy, covetousness, bickering, selfishness, and internal discord, so that we'll get so busy fighting among ourselves that we won't even notice that our walls of spiritual strength from the Lord are crumbling from neglect or smoldering from sin, giving a place for the enemy to enter in and destroy us in God's work. Only the cool winds and rains of God's purifying chastisements and the waters of his word can smother the flames of disunity in his love and wash away the black filth of our lack of love and loyalty, so we can unite against the foe, save God's own, and fill the earth with his love and light.
Did you like that exciting adventure?
Yes.
Well, our whole life is a pretty exciting adventure, isn't it?
Yes.
So, I have a special song for you to learn to help you be strong soldiers for Jesus. It's called Fight the Good Fight of Faith.
Fight the good fight of faith. Fight the good fight of faith. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Fight the good fight of faith. 1 Timothy 6:12, James 4:7. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Fight the good fight of faith. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Put on the whole armor of God. Ephesians 6:11. Ephesians 6:11. Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of God.
Welcome to Story Time. And our story for today is The Rock in the Road.
There once was a king who was very sad. Why was he sad? He was sad because his people were very selfish. No one wanted to help anyone else. They grumbled and complained about everything. They fought with each other to get more things for themselves. One day, the sad king looked out of his window, and he saw how badly everyone was behaving.
Alms for the poor. Could you please help me with a few pennies, sir? I haven't had anything to eat all day.
Get away, you ragged thing! Quit cluttering up the streets and bothering decent people. Why don't you get a job?
But I can't work. I'm crippled. Can't you see that I'm a cripple?
Your legs are probably just as good as mine with under all those rags. You rascal, get away before worse happens to you.
It's mine. It is mine. Mother gave it to me. Well, I'm the eldest, so it's mine. Besides, you've never loved Mother like I did. It's my fault. Now, look what you've done. I didn't do it. You did it. You were the one.
The sad king said to himself, "Isn't there one fair and faithful man in all my kingdom?" He thought for a moment and said, "I have a plan, but I must not let anyone find out about it, or it will not work."
The king had a plan, what could it be? We'll just have to wait and see. Is there a faithful man in such a very bad land? Is there even one who will do what must be done?
That night, someone with a large black cloak crept out of the castle. He went down to the main road that passed nearby. He began digging. And then rolled something very heavy onto the road. Early in the morning, the king ran to the castle window above the road. It was a strange sight. On the road sat a big rock. There was a crowd of people around the rock.
What's this rock doing in the road?
The king smiled a little and said, "Well, I'll soon know who's faithful."
Anybody ever there with the public anymore? Get up there, big fellow. Come on there, big fellow. Rock on the road. Get it. Certainly not my responsibility, I can tell you that. Let's stop all around it.
All day the wagons and horsemen and great knights and nobles passed by the rock. Some stopped to curse it or kick it, but still no one moved the rock. No one did anything about the rock because they were all too selfish. No one felt that it was their job. The day slowly passed by. Every hour the king would go to the window to see if the rock was gone. Yet it was always there. Finally the sun was beginning to set. The sad king went once more to the window. The rock was still there. Only an old shepherd could be seen bringing his sheep up the road.
What is this big rock doing in the road? It shouldn't be here. It is in the way.
The old man decided that he'd better move the rock himself and make the road clear for people to use. It was hard work for the old man.
This sure is a heavy rock.
He had to use his big staff to move away the stone. Slowly it rolled out of the way. To his surprise, there was a small box under the rock. It opened easily and was full of gold. There was a letter in the box, too. He unfolded the letter and began to read.
To the person who cares for others enough to move this stone, this gold is for you. Love, the King. P.S. Most of the greatest saints I know were little people who just did what they thought should be done without you hearing about it or even knowing they were around. But God has a great big book, and it's known to him, and he's writing it all down. And he'll reward everyone according to his works.
And here's a little song about the rock in the road. The sad king wondered if they were worth saving when he saw how badly they were all behaving. So the king began to wish he could find a man that wasn't selfish. He wanted to see if someone would care, an honest man who was faithful and fair. He decided to look for this faithful man, so he told no one of his secret plan. Not a word to anyone he ever spoke, but dressed himself in a large black cloak. Out
of the castle he quickly stepped, and down to the road he silently crept. Quicker than a man can dance a jig, in the road he began to dig. Then before anyone could see and talk, out on the road he rolled a rock. The very next morning was the strangest sight. Someone rolled a rock on the road in the night. Everyone was shouting so noisy and loud, and around the rock was a great big crowd. Over the rock the rich men stumbled, but no one moved it, they only grumbled. Horsemen and knights and nobles were worse. When they saw the rock they started to curse. When it looked like his kingdom had really gone sour, along came a shepherd in the very last hour. So the king began to laugh, ha ha, when the shepherd moved the rock with his great big staff. And then there's a little more I haven't told. Under the rock was a box of gold, the greatest